realize there is no possible way that the community would allow Conor McGregor to get a title fight off of no wins?
Yeah, they would.
No, they wouldn't.
They would.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes,
I'm
they
sorry.
would.
We can have a poll on this right now. I will even put this as the beginning of the video. Please comment right now. Do you think that Conor McGregor deserves to have a title fight if Chandler wins the title before Conor comes back? If Chandler beats Islam, does McGregor get a title fight automatically? Yes. It is a no. No one's going to say yes to that. Only McGregor fanboys are going to say yes to that.
Are you for real right now?
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Hardcore and the Casual podcast. I'm your host, Justin, and on today's episode, I am joined by Elijah. How's it going, Elijah?
Going good. You?
Yeah, doing good. Coming off of a big event with Carlos Prates getting the knockout win over Neil Magny. Wow. But going forward, we've got Jake Paul and Mike Tyson to look forward to. We've got Jones, Stipe. Yeah. We've got Oliveira Chandler. We got Bo Nickel, Paul Craig. This is going to be a great weekend of fights, and we're going to be coming at you with live reactions to all of it. Check back in probably Friday or Saturday morning and maybe Sunday or Monday for the UFC one. There should be 2 videos going on the channel for live reactions if you want to check those out. But for now, we are going to talk a little bit about Magny versus Prates, and then we are going to move on for predictions for UFC 309 and for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson. And we're just going to talk a little bit about it throughout the episode. So, to start off, we didn't really do much predicting for this card last week, but we did have a prediction on Cody Stamann versus Damon Blackshear. You took Cody Stamann. I took Damon Blackshear. Damon Blackshear ended up winning submission in the first round.
Wow. What's his record now?
I just scrolled away. Sorry. 15-7-1. Wow. So it was pretty good. Tresean Gore picked up a win. Zaleski dos Santos picked up a win. Denise Gomez picked up a win. All around some good stuff on the prelims. A lot of knockouts on this card, or a lot of finishes on this card, so that was good. Then we moved up to the main card. I didn't really pay attention to the first fight, but Jillian Robertson picked up the win. She's now moving up the rankings in the strawweight division. Love to see that. Don't know who the next 2 guys are, so we'll move up. First off, Cody Garbrandt was not on the card. Him and his fight against Miles Johns fell out. So sadly, our prediction for that did not matter. We did both pick DeRitter to win. He is now advanced to 18-2. He picked up the submission in the 3rd round. It was one of the clumsiest fights ever, but honestly, look at our champion at middleweight. DDP is not exactly the most pretty fighter. He is very clumsy. He is very unorthodox. That's what Reiner de Ritter was last Saturday. He was very awkward, very weird, but he did pick up the submission win over a very good grappler in Jared Mearshart. That's pretty impressive. Where does he go from here? Probably a top 15 guy next. Probably low down in the top 15, though. Yeah. But yeah, we both ended up picking de Ritter, so that prediction didn't really matter much for us, but we did end up tying because I picked Neil Magny, you picked Carlos Prates, and Carlos Prates picked up the knockout win in the first round with 10 seconds left to go in the round. We did tie, though, which means I get to retain my title. Nope, you don't get to call an interim title. That's not how this works. We've been over this.
2 ties in a row, interim title.
No, that doesn't give you an interim title. 2 ties in a row just means you get another shot this week, which we're already going to be doing predictions. So you already get another title shot. There you go. There's your interim title. By the way, Joey Logano won the NASCAR championship. I wanted to point that out. I love Joey Logano. He's been my favorite NASCAR driver for like 10 years now, and he's on his 3rd Cup win. If you guys don't like NASCAR, please don't click off. I'm done talking about it already. I just wanted to mention that. Love Joey Logano. Love that for him. But yeah, talking a little more about Carlos Prates. He is now 21-6-0. I think he's on a 5-fight knockout streak in the UFC. I think he's on like a 10-fight knockout streak in general, like outside the UFC included. The entirety of the fighting nerds are just climbing the roster. You know Calio Bahalio, right? What about Gene Silva? He just beat Drew Dober in his last fight. Yeah. These guys, and the guy Ruffy, that's going to be on 309 opening the show. These guys are just winning and winning and winning. These guys are so cool. The fighting nerds are awesome. I love them. Wasn't the biggest fan of Gene Silva at first, but now that I see the people that he surrounds himself with, They all fight like that. They are all cool. And this is the new big gym in Brazil. Like, this is going to be like the next top tier gym in Brazil. Carlos Pratas flatlined Neil Magny in the most awkward way possible, but that's kind of Neil Magny's whole thing. I mean, it worked. He got through the first round. He was able to deal with Magny's pressure and pace, and he was able to pick up the knockout win, which is something that he has been doing a lot recently. So Carlos Pratas moving on. I think he took he's 13th in the division now, right behind Michael Morales. I think that's a really good fight to line up. That'd be awesome to watch. Yeah. Other than that, you want to talk anything more about this card, or should we move on to predictions?
I'm ready for the predictions.
All right, we're moving on to UFC 309 predictions now. We're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. We're going to do all the fights on the card. If anything drops out, that won't matter in the end. We'll just cut it from the predictions. We are also going to include Paul versus Tyson. We're going to talk about that last. We're going to include that in the predictions for this. And it's just going to be like if it's another fight on UFC 309, and it's still going to be whoever gets the most for the weekend wins the title. Because we're not doing 2 title fights in one weekend. Yeah. All right, we got our boards now. We're ready to start predicting. First up, we've got the women's flyweight bout between Veronica Hardy, 9-4-1, and these names are going to be hard. I don't want to mispronounce her name. Don't know her name. Moreya. Yeah, sure. She's 10-1-0. So that's pretty good. I don't know anything about either of these fighters, so we're just going to be doing a blind prediction for this one. All right, so Hardy or EM. You could put EM. So Hardy or EM. I'm going to go with 3, 2, 1. EM. All right, both got EM. All right, moving on up, we got Basil Hafez. He was the one that just fought Mickey Gall in their last fight. Yeah. He's fighting Oban Elliott. So Basil Hafez is 9-3-1. Oban Elliott is 11-2-0. Mm-hmm. I've heard some stuff about Oban Elliott. Hafez took JDM to a split decision, though. Yeah. So these are 2 pretty good guys. I think you got your pick.
What are the names?
Basil Hafez or Oban Elliott. You could put BH or OE. I got my pick down. 3, 2, 1. Basil Hafez, and you picked Oban Elliott. All right. Sounds good. Okay, moving on up, we have Mickey Gall returning to Madison Square Garden.
That's my boy.
To fight Ramez Nope, don't know. 10-5-0. He's a 10-5-0 fighter. I don't know how to pronounce his last name, but it's RB or just Mickey Gall. Mickey Gall, by the way, is 7-6. I want you to know that. He is 7-6. Just because the other guy's 10-5, Mickey Gall has almost a losing record. But he did look pretty good in his last fight. Yeah, I'm gonna go with this. 3, 2, 1. RB. Mickey Gall. Yeah, I knew you were gonna stick with him.
It's my guy. I gotta stick with the home team.
You gotta love Mickey Gall, though.
Yeah.
I mean, he beat the hell out of a WWE fighter and made himself famous, so I guess that's one way to do it.
I saw him fight in person.
Did you really?
Yeah, it was the Colby Covington, Robbie Lawler card.
Oh yeah, that's sick. Who did he fight then? Was that the night that he fought that blonde dude, the karate guy? I forgot his name. Yeah, I don't remember his name. He was another up-and-coming prospect. Sage Northcutt. No?
Doesn't ring a bell.
All right, moving on up. We've got our main event of the early prelims, Marcin Tybura versus whatever his first name is, Denise. This was the guy that was supposed to fight Derek Lewis last week. Okay. Or 2 weeks ago. Denise, he's 8-0. Tybura, 25-9. So either MT or JD. All right, 3, 2, 1. I got MT. You got JD. All right. Sounds good to me. I think Tybura's got this though. I haven't seen anything of Denise though, so I really shouldn't even be talking about it. But I'm just a Tybura fan. Damn. Azamat Mirzakhanov versus Krylov. Nikola Krylov is off the card. That was one that I was really looking forward to. Not happening now. So the first fight on the prelims, we've got Jim Miller versus Damon Jackson. Sorry, Damon Jackson versus Jim Miller.
Records?
Jim Miller is 37-18 with 1 no contest, and Damon Jackson is 23-7-1 and 1 no contest. So 37-18 to 23-7.
It's a really swing fight.
Yeah, but come on, man. 3, 2, 1, flip. Oh, you went with Damon Jackson. I keep on thinking of Damon Blackshear whenever I see that name now. Damon Jackson. Jim Miller, man. Jim Miller's a GOAT. He's got to win this. Okay. Next up, Chris Weidman versus Eric Anders. So I've watched Eric Anders fight probably a handful of times now, but really the only thing I really know him from is being in, he was an MMA fighter in a movie one time. I don't remember what movie it was. Maybe it was, it was Roadhouse with Connor and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Oh, he was in Roadhouse.
Yeah, he was. And Chris Weidman, obviously the former world heavyweight champ, the guy that beat the 16 fight, or world middleweight champ, beat the 16 fight winning streak of Anderson Silva. Like, come on, man. Okay, let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. Chris Weidman. All right, yeah. Come on, dude. Chris Weidman is a GOAT. I love Chris Weidman. And he's fighting in New York, his home. Come on, man. He's winning. Jonathan Martinez versus Marcus McGee. Jonathan Martinez, 19-5. Marcus McGee is 9-1. Man, this guy's just got some brutal leg kicks. Jonathan Martinez, yeah. I don't think there's any beating it. He's got, like, freaking hammers in his legs. All right, moving up to the main card now. We've got Mauricio Ruffy. He's one of the teammates of the guy that just got the win, Prates, Calio Bajalio, Gene Silva. He's one of their teammates. He's 1-0 in the UFC, I think. But he is 1-0 in the UFC, but he's like a funky fighter. Like, he was doing some weird trips and stuff in his last fight. I was very entertained last time I saw him fight, so I think he's going to do great in this one against James Lyontop. So Ruffy is 10-1. Lyontop is 14-4. So either MR or JL. 3, 2, 1. Oh, you went with Lyontop. I'm going with Ruffy. His team's on a freaking, like, I want to say like a 10-fight win streak right now, so I'm going with him. All right, next up, we got Vivian Araujo versus Caitlin Silva. Karen Silva? Karen Silva. Hold on. You gotta love some good water. 3, 2, 1. Viviana Araujo.
Can't go
you
wrong
got
with a Karen.
Karen Silva, okay. All right, yo, our picks are pretty separate. Why does it always come down to this, where we've got like 10 different picks, and we still end up almost tying every time? Like, every time we come down to like the last fight. Okay, now we're moving up to the big boys. This is probably going to be where I start the live reaction at this point. It is going to be Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig. That'll probably be the first fight that you guys get to watch when we do our live reaction. Bo Nickel is 6-0. Paul Craig is 17-8-1. Obviously, Paul Craig has the advantage in the submission game and the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu aspect. Bo Nickel has the grappling. I'd say their striking is probably somewhat even. I've never seen that much good striking from Paul Craig. He has been doing it much longer, but I have seen Bo Nickel have some hands, and I haven't really seen Paul Craig do that. But I'm sure they're not that far different from each other in the striking realm. The grappling realm is really where it's going to come down to if Bo Nickel gets submitted or not. This is a really hard fight to pick. If I was people online, that betting odd is crazy for Bo Nickel. He's the heavy favorite. Throw money on Paul Craig by submission. If you can, put money on Paul, put like $1 on it. You'll win like, I think it's like $20 or something like that if you just put $1 down, maybe even more. So why wouldn't you? Just everyone online, just throw $1 on Paul Craig, maybe $5.
I'm not saying that.
You're not saying you're not.
I'm not agreeing to that.
No, I'm not saying that Paul Craig is gonna win. I'm just saying with the betting odds that are lined up right now, it's probably the best choice to just throw some money on Paul Craig. Like, and if you lose $1, you lose $1. If you win the bet, which is likely, it's not like impossible. If you win the bet, you win like 20 times the amount of money you bet. So I think it's a good pick to put it on because we don't know if Bo Nickel can stop that submission. 3, 2, 1. I got Bo Nickel.
Bo knows.
Yeah, we both have Bo Nickel. We both agree that Bo Nickel will probably win, but let's all be honest with ourselves here. Paul Craig might submit him. He might. Like, do you think it's an impossible task for Paul Craig to submit someone? You think it's impossible?
Doesn't happen. He couldn't even submit Jamal Hill.
Man, dude, he did though. It was basically a submission. It was a TKO, but it was basically a submission. Like, come on, he caught him.
Nah, I don't think it happened.
He caught Ankalaev with 1 second left in the fight. Come on, dude.
Ankalaev's not that good.
Yeah, but Bo Nickel hasn't been doing grappling for that long. If Paul Craig could catch him in a knee bar, and Bo Nickel, last time he did a grappling match against
Bo Nickel might just KO him first round.
He might. I never said that he couldn't. I'm just saying if it does go to the grappling, if they do go to the ground, Paul Craig might be able to submit him if Bo Nickel tries to take him down.
I think Bo's gonna overwhelm him.
Because Gordon Ryan, when he did a grappling match against Bo Nickel, they made a rule that they couldn't do knee bars. Because Bo Nickel wouldn't be able to defend it. It would just happen, and he'd have to tap out in the first round. So they agreed no knee bars. Paul Craig can do a knee bar whenever he wants. And Bo Nickel can't do anything about it. But I'm still saying Bo Nickel's probably going to win. I'm just saying put some money on Paul Craig by submission if you want to win some money. All right, moving up. Charles Oliveira versus Michael Chandler, the rematch of the ages. Last time out, Michael Chandler did win the first round, but in the second round, Charles Oliveira knocked him out in like the first 5 seconds of the round. It was like the first strike he threw. I don't see that happening again the exact same way. I don't see Oliveira being able to knock him out. I think he got lucky the first time. Do I still see a path to winning? Maybe, but I'm going to go 3, 2, 1.
Like Mike.
I'm going Michael Chandler too. We're both going Michael Chandler on that one.
I want to see Michael Chandler get a title fight.
I don't want to see Michael Chandler get a title fight, but I do feel like he knocks out Oliveira, and I'm not the biggest fan of Oliveira, so I'm probably going to be pretty excited when it happens.
Does he get a title fight after that?
No. Come on, man. He beat Charles Oliveira.
He's on like a... Nah, I think he gets a title fight after that.
Well, Charles Oliveira is on like a 2-fight losing streak right now. But besides the point, Charles Oliveira... Come on, man.
He lost to the two best in the division.
He had a lucky win streak.
He lost to the two best in the division.
Who?
Charles Oliveira, Islam and Arman.
Yeah.
So he's not fully fallen off.
Yeah, but come on. Chandler hasn't done anything to deserve a title fight to this point, and beating Oliveira, I don't feel like should give you a title fight.
He's the number 5. He beats the number 2. That moves him up to the number...
Yeah, but who has Chandler beaten? Dan Hooker and Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson not in the division anymore. Dan Hooker should not be placed in the spot he's placed in the division. Dan Hooker had a split decision with Jalen Turner and a split decision with Gamrot.
Those are both good fighters, good strikers.
Yeah, but neither of them should even be in the top 10. Because of the people that they've lost to or the people that they haven't beat.
But Michael Chandler is ahead of these guys. Like, Michael Chandler has had close, good fights with high-level guys. It's just that sometimes
none of them were that close. Name one close fight that Michael Chandler has had with one of those top guys. None of them were close.
All of them.
None of them were close.
He's beaten them. He's demolished them.
Who?
Dustin Poirier?
No, Dustin Poirier submitted him in the third round.
But he was giving Dustin good
No,
work.
he wasn't.
Yes.
Poirier beat the shit out of him in every round. Justin Gaethje beat the shit out of him in every round.
Nah, those are hard-fought fights.
They were good fights. That doesn't mean that Chandler was like close to winning.
And think about it. If Khalil Roundtree, the number 8, can go up and give Alex Pereira work, because at the end of the day, these guys are all fighters. It all comes down to a mindset, who having the better day. I think it's a good matchup for him and Islam because it's random.
Yeah, but I'm not saying that Chandler is a bad fighter. I'm saying that he hasn't done anything to deserve the title fight. Even if he beats Oliveira, I still feel as though he has not done enough to deserve a title fight.
Okay, so Islam beats Arman, and then he needs someone else to fight. Chandler's there. He's in the top five.
Islam is not sticking around lightweight after he beats Arman. After he beats Arman, he's leaving. He's done everything he needs to do.
He said he's not going to fight Bilal.
No, yeah, but Bilal's not going to be champ anymore. We're already seeing right now, Bilal is right now going to be out for 310. And that means that there's going to be an interim champ, which is either going to be Rakhmonov or Usman. And Dana White could easily just say, hey, Bilal, you could go rest your toe. We're going to line up Islam versus one of these guys. Because obviously, that's what's happening at heavyweight.
It's different, John Jones.
No, it's what's happening at heavyweight.
John Jones has earned that.
We've learned that you can do whatever you want, whenever you want in the UFC.
When you've earned that right.
Yeah, and Islam has earned the right.
No,
Usman has earned the right.
No, how did Islam earn the right? He's beaten what? One guy in the division? Two now?
He beat Oliveira when Oliveira was number 3, pound for pound.
Okay, that's going to be a good fight.
He beat Volkanovski twice, while Volkanovski was number 1 pound for pound.
The first fight was mediocre. He should have won the first fight the way he won the second fight. He easily
won both.
And then we're talking about a guy who jumped up a division. He's not even in the division.
What's your point?
Ilia Topuria just knocked him out flat cold, faster than Islam did.
What's your point?
My point is that Islam, he's good, but his division's pretty much washed
up.
And
Topuria did not knock out Volk faster than Islam did.
It took Islam 2 fights.
It took Islam 1 round to get him the second time.
Took him 2 fights.
Yeah, well, they were in the ring together. He knew the weaknesses, and he knew that he almost landed the head kick like 5 times in the first fight, so they planned a strategy around doing that. Guess who had that information after that fight? Ilia Topuria had that information. He knows when Volkanovski's vulnerable. He knew that when Volkanovski backs up to the cage, he's open to strikes, which is what Islam did to him. So it's 2 different fights and 2 different fighters, and Ilia Topuria is on a different level right now. So that's a different guy. I don't know why we're talking about Ilia Topuria right now.
Who after Arman would then deserve a title fight? Because Islam still has to defend the belt.
I know. Islam would move up a weight class to welterweight and probably let the division shake itself up. Michael Chandler needs another fight, and he already said he's going to get another fight. Michael Chandler has not said once that his plan is to fight Islam directly after beating Oliveira. He said his plan is to fight Conor after beating Oliveira. So there's time for Islam to go do his own thing.
If Islam was to move up, then who would be champion?
What do you mean? He'd be double champ. He'd have to come down eventually and defend his 155. But like I said, by then, Michael Chandler may not be in the contention anymore.
Nah, Michael Chandler's a beast, man.
Do you think that Michael Chandler beats Conor McGregor?
Of course not. No.
Well, then this is exactly what I said. If Chandler fights Conor next, after beating Oliveira, he goes on to fight Conor next. You think Conor's going to beat Chandler. So then where does Chandler's title fight come in? After losing
title.
Yeah, but
he's in the
You said you wanted to see him fight Islam.
That would be a great fight.
It's not going to happen though.
It could.
By all accounts, it's not going to happen. Even
Conor
Chandler
come back?
Well, if Conor doesn't come back, then maybe, but I feel like Chandler's going to wait again for that Conor fight. And if Conor drags him out for 5 months, then what? He's going to have to wait. Then what does Islam do? Who does Islam fight then? He has to move up.
Islam will then fight Chandler, and then if Chandler wins, Conor comes
No,
back.
Conor does not fight for a title.
Yes, he does. Islam, Conor definitely comes right in for a title shot.
No, Conor McGregor does not get a title fight.
Why? He's Conor McGregor.
Exactly my point. He's Conor McGregor. He's the dude that hasn't fought in 3 years. He's the dude that hasn't won in 4 years. He's the dude that hasn't had 2 wins in a row in over 10 years.
Do you think he beats Chandler?
No, I don't. I think Chandler beats Conor. I think Conor McGregor is washed up. We talked about this on last week.
And how many rounds do you think it would take for Chandler to beat Conor?
1 or 2? Less than 3. Conor McGregor is not the fighter he used to be. I can guarantee you that.
If Chandler fights Islam, beats Islam, Conor comes back, he takes the belt. Perfect UFC story. John Jones still champ. He beats.
There's
Tom Aspinall.
you do realize there is no possible way that the community would allow Conor McGregor to get a title fight off of no wins.
Yeah, they would.
No, they wouldn't.
They would.
No, they wouldn't.
Yes,
I'm
they
sorry.
would.
We can have a poll on this right now. I will even put this as the beginning of the video. Please comment right now. Do you think that Conor McGregor deserves to have a title fight if Chandler wins the title before Conor comes back? If Chandler beats Islam, does McGregor get a title fight automatically? Yes. It is a no. No one's going to say yes to that. Only McGregor fanboys are going to say yes to that.
Are you for real right now?
Yes.
How?
Because this entire sport, it's a sport. Yes. First off, it's a sport. It is not WWE. You don't get to just go around throwing in whoever you want in title fights. It's what pisses me off the most about John Jones right now. You don't get to choose. You get the best competition. Whoever is next in line for you, that's who you fight.
He pre-chose, and that fight was already planned and booked.
Yes, but he's still ducking Tom.
He
said he'd fight Pereira, but not Tom. He said that in an interview this week.
Natural division,
dude. This is exactly what I'm talking about.
Listen, Pereira.
Who's more deserving for a world title shot at heavyweight, Alex Pereira or Tom Aspinall?
Alex Pereira.
That is fucking ridiculous.
No.
You think that Alex Pereira is more deserving of a heavyweight title fight?
Fought 3 times in 1 year, man. You got to give it to him. I mean, I'm not.
Tom Aspinall is literally the interim champ.
But listen, he wasn't in the equation until John Jones got hurt. Blah blah blah. That fight was.
He was in the equation. He was ready to fight for a title at any point, and he got there and he won it. He won. He has the interim title. You can't just take that away from him now. He's already defended the interim title. He's beaten.
Curtis Blades.
Name a person in the division that Tom Aspinall has not beaten that is a champion.
That was a
champion.
Francis.
In the division.
Stipe.
There you go. That's one. Who's the other guy?
John Jones.
And so who else can he fight?
He has to fight one of them.
Yeah, exactly my point. He has to fight.
The fight.
No, after the Stipe fight, then it's John Jones versus Tom Aspinall.
I want you to know as soon as the bell rings, he's stripped from the interim title because the heavyweight champion is. That's the rules. No, it isn't. That wasn't wasn't the rules when Brock Lesnar was around. This exact same situation happened with Brock Lesnar, and it changed hands. The interim title changed hands like 3 times, and Brock Lesnar still ended up fighting the interim champ, Shane Carwin. So no, that's not how it works. No, he'll be stripped.
The interim champ does not get stripped.
Brought it up.
No,
Chael Sonnen brought it up.
Dude, did you not just hear what I just said? So don't listen to Chael Sonnen. Listen to what I'm saying right now.
He fought in the UFC.
There's already precedent of Brock Lesnar fighting for a world title against not the interim champ, but there was an interim champ. The interim champ did not get stripped. So I'm telling you that right now.
He had to wait, right?
He had to wait, but he didn't get stripped.
Exactly
so I'm telling you,
same situation.
And
Tom Aspinall has
but then guess what Brock did in his next fight? He fought the interim champ. He didn't duck the interim champ again.
That's what's gonna happen. They're gonna fight him.
John Jones is gonna fight Stipe even after he said that he's gonna fight Alex Pereira instead.
Oh, even better.
No, because Alex Pereira doesn't deserve a heavyweight title fight more than Tom Aspinall does.
He beats Pereira anyway. Like you said.
Yes, John Jones easily beats Pereira, which is why there's no need to see it.
Then he retires.
There's no need to see it.
He hands.
John Jones's whole point is that Tom Aspinall hasn't done anything to deserve the fight.
Compared to him, no.
How does he earn the fight if the only 2 world champions that are in the division currently are fighting for the world title and both are saying they want to retire? How does he fight one of them if neither of them will fight him?
He just doesn't, because it's like they were already planning to fight and retire anyway. So it's like for them to just.
So then how does he earn it? That's my question. How does he
just gets the belt. What do you mean?
No, but how does he earn a fight with John Jones if he can't fight any other people that John Jones. Because John Jones is basically saying, beat me. No, what John Jones is basically saying is beat someone like me, and then I'll fight you. That's what he's saying to Tom Aspinall.
Fight Alex Pereira.
No, because Alex Pereira is a bum. He's a bum, and he will move up to heavyweight and get wrecked.
One of the best
He's a bum.
He should be number 1 pound for pound.
Dude,
Alex Pereira should be
for his weight class, he is a fine fighter. If he moved up to heavyweight, he'd be the biggest bum in the division.
He'd beat Derek Lewis.
No, he wouldn't. No, he wouldn't. You can name any heavyweight fighter they beat Alex Pereira. Any one of them. There is not a heavyweight fighter in the roster right now that would get beat by Alex Pereira right now.
Crazy.
No, I am telling you, dude. No heavyweight on the roster would get beat by Alex Pereira.
No way.
In the top 15, if he fought the number 15 guy...
He called out Tom Aspinall because he knows he can do it.
If Alex Pereira fights the number 15 guy at heavyweight, he gets beat by the number 15 guy at heavyweight. He gets beat by number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all the way down the list. Any heavyweight, he gets beat by them. So why would you want him to fight for a title if he's going to be a bum at heavyweight? He's going to get taken down by anyone and submitted in literally 5 seconds. John Jones, Tom Aspinall, Stipe, any one of them takes him down 5 seconds, over. Not even fun. So Tom Aspinall needs to fight John Jones next. And we need to make our prediction for Jones versus Stipe, but I really don't feel like we even need to. We already know who we're both picking. 3, 2, 1. It's John Bones Jones. Okay. John Jones is probably going to beat Stipe. It would be wonderful for me if Stipe won. If Stipe knocked Jones out, that'd be crazy. That'd be great. I'd love it. But that's just because John Jones needs to actually fight the interim champ in the division. And if Stipe decides to just retire, good for him. Promote Tom up to world champ and then have him keep defending his title. That is fine. But if I'd be just as mad at Stipe if he said, "Oh, let me fight Alex Pereira." I'd be just as mad at Stipe.
If Stipe went and fought Alex Pereira after winning the belt?
Yes. I'd be just as mad at Stipe.
Why?
Because there's an interim title right there that needs to get unified.
Stipe is the most decorated heavyweight. He beat John Jones.
There is an interim title right there that needs to get unified. Do it after. Why can't you do it after the unification, huh? If you're so confident that you're the best fighter in the world, why can't you fight Alex Pereira after you unify the titles with Tom?
He has business with Alex Pereira.
He doesn't. There's no business with Alex Pereira. He has business with the interim champion. That's his business.
They already spoke to Tom. Tom's like, bro.
No, he wants to fight. He actively wants to fight. He wants to fight every single day. He calls for the fight every single day. He's going to be there in MSG, and he's going to be asking for the fight right there on the spot after the fight happens. He wants the fight. He gets the fight. He's the interim champion. There's business in the division. If John Jones is so good and he's just the GOAT, he's the best in the world and no one can beat him, he should be able to just beat Tom Aspinall in 5 months from now and then fight Alex Pereira a year from now, if he's that good. And then retire.
He can.
Well, then why doesn't he?
Because he'd rather fight Alex Pereira first. You know, the champ.
Because he knows that that's an easier fight. Can you at least admit that? John Jones knows that Alex Pereira is an easier fight. That's why he's calling for him.
John Jones beats everyone in light heavyweight and all the way
stop.
Down.
Just tell me, is Alex Pereira an easier fight for John Jones than Tom Aspinall?
No.
How?
Because they both pose a threat of knocking him out.
Yes, but Tom Aspinall also poses threat of takedown defense, which Alex Pereira does not have.
Nah, he's probably gonna try to knock him out first.
Yes, but I'm saying if John Jones goes to shoot on Tom Aspinall can defend a takedown. If John Jones shoots on Alex Pereira's not defending it. He's just getting taken down like what happened to Surreal.
John Jones, honestly, Alex Pereira.
Dude.
He has a black belt.
We've talked about this a million times. If you bring up this stupid-ass black belt shit one more time, everyone in the UFC has a black belt. That doesn't make them really good. Okay? Everyone in the UFC has one. None of them get submissions. Everyone in the UFC has a black belt. No one gets submissions. Okay? You need to be a high-level grappler to even get a submission.
Tapoya has a black belt.
And what is your point? I am telling you that not everyone that has a black belt can actually go out there and get submissions.
Michael Chandler has a brown belt.
It's something that you have to go out there and do over and over again to learn how to do it. You have to actually do it in the octagon to get good at it. You can't just pull a submission out of your ass from nowhere if you've never done one before. That's why Izzy has gone for like 10 submission attempts and has not gotten a single one because he's not good at submissions. You can have a black belt but not be good at submissions. The black belt, like I've told you before, the black belt is to keep you.
Alex Pereira.
The black belt is to keep you out of getting submitted. It is not to go out there and submit people. The black belt in MMA is used to not let yourself get submitted. It is if someone has a rear naked choke on you, you know how to get out and not get submitted. That's what the black belt means in MMA. It means that you are fully on defense. You're trying not to get submitted. You need to get up without getting your arm taken. You have to get up without getting your neck taken. And you have to stand back up to your feet. That's what the black belt's for. It's not for going out there and submitting people. So get that out of your head that that's going to happen. I'm telling you right now that Jon Jones takes Alex Pereira down in 5 seconds and submits him. Tom Aspinall stuffs at least one takedown. So it's the harder fight. Because Alex Pereira sucks. He's not good. He's a good striker. He's not an MMA fighter.
He has a black belt.
Did you not listen to Can you repeat a single word of what I just told you?
Listen, it's like this almost. It's like this almost. We've seen. I don't even know where to take this at this point, because it's just like, basically what you're saying is Jon Jones is just that great that all these people want to fight him. He's just
because he's the only heavyweight that's the champ left in the division. He's the only champ in the division. So Stipe is about to retire, which means that the only person to put on your resume at heavyweight is Jon Jones. The only person with any lineage, any world titles, the only person in heavyweight that you can put on your resume and say, I've beaten a champion, is Jon Jones. You can't do that with anyone else. Tom Aspinall has one world champ on his resume. You know who that is? Andrei Arlovski, the world champ from 2006. So, the only one is Jon Jones. That's why everyone wants to fight him, is because he's the only one that they can call out and say, I beat a champ. And he's the GOAT. Why wouldn't you want to fight the GOAT and beat the GOAT? And Tom Aspinall would beat the GOAT. But, okay. If that's all done now, we can move over and start talking about Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul now. Which, coming into this, I knew your opinions on Jon Jones, and I knew we were going to have an argument about it. I have no clue what you think about this fight, so I'm going to be real curious to see what your prediction is. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. Let's write them down. Oh, you already have it written down? Oh, wow, you were quick with that. I didn't even notice you write it down. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Mike Tyson. Oh, man. Okay, we both got Tyson, so that really didn't matter much. Yeah, I mean, Mike Tyson may be 60 years old, but I've seen his speed, and I seen him box like 3 years ago. How long was that ago now? That he fought Roy Jones Jr.
I think it was during COVID.
I think it was 2. Even if it was slightly before COVID, it still should give you a rough estimate of how Mike Tyson still moves. He doesn't move like he used to, obviously. He's 60 years old. But come on, he's fighting Jake Paul. Like, you know what I mean? He's fighting Jake Paul. He should be able to slip an uppercut in there and put Jake Paul unconscious.
I think he's taking a fall.
What do you mean? You think it's rigged?
I think Mike's going to take a fall, and Jake Paul's going to get the knockout. And
you don't think Mike has too much respect for that, for himself?
I think this is all for a check.
Money talks. But apparently he's only getting only getting $20 million. But he's only getting $20 million, and Jake Paul's making like $40 million. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I feel like if you're gonna take a fall, you need a little more than $20 million. You should be making more than Jake at that point if you're gonna take a fall for him. Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. I don't see Jake Paul being able to beat Mike Tyson. I know that he's 60. I know that by the time this fight happens, and if Jake Paul wins, that's going to be the whole thing. We're all going to be saying, oh, well, he was 60. He was 60. He was an old man. Jake Paul beat an old man. We're going to actually be saying that. But for right now, he's Mike Tyson. And until we know that Mike Tyson can get knocked out by Jake Paul, we're not going to believe it until we see it. You know what I mean? How do you think the fight's going to go? If it's not rigged. If it's not rigged. Like, let's say it's not rigged.
If it's not rigged, then oh my god. I could see, there's like a little pace, but I think Mike was kind of like, if it gets towards the ropes, if it's in the middle of the ring, it's like, all right. But if Jake Paul gets his back up against the ropes, I think Mike Tyson might be able to not knock him out, but,
put him down.
Give him like a knee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it's definitely an odd fight because I do know that Jake Paul has been getting better. He has been getting more skilled. Like, I could see the progression in his boxing. He's not a bad boxer, but I mean,
he fought Tommy Fury. It was all right.
Yeah, it was okay, but Tommy Fury's not exactly the.
He's a boxer.
He's not. I mean, yeah, he's a boxer, but like he's not exactly at that level right now.
He's at Jake Paul's level.
He's a little higher than Jake Paul's level. He beat him.
Don't
forget he beat him. So he's a little higher than Jake Paul's level.
Yeah.
But he's still not at like world champion caliber level yet.
I think Jake fighting him's a good fight, like a rematch. But I think we need to just see an improvement in Jake, like holding his hands up and taking the initiative.
Didn't KSI beat Tommy Fury in a boxing match?
He did.
He did? He won?
Did.
Oh, then Tommy Fury fucking sucks. And Jake Paul fucking sucks, too. In that case. Okay, then that wipes everything. Mike Tyson wins by knockout in the first 5 seconds. I want to rewrite everything. Mike Tyson wins in 5 seconds by way of uppercut knockout.
I forgot about the KSI did fight
that's what I'm saying. Like,
and he beat Logan Paul.
Now that I'm thinking about that, yeah, no, man, Mike Tyson's got to knock him out, right?
Yeah,
I'm thinking that. I'm thinking it. Other than that, I'm glad we ended on a high note. Do you want to talk about anything else before we sign out? We're at 45 minutes now, so. No. All right. Well, that is UFC 309 predictions and Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul predictions. If you guys want to come back this weekend, we will be having live reactions out on the channels. They're going to be separate from the normal podcast. They will just be a video, normal, couple of minutes long. I don't know how long the Mike Tyson, Jake Paul one will last. That might end up having to be a short, depending on how short the actual fight is. We'll see how much content I actually have, but I do want to make 2 separate videos for that. Definitely you'll be seeing the John Jones Stipe one around Sunday, Monday time. That one will be awesome. That one will be a lot of us here hanging out. You get our full reactions of the last 3 fights on that card and any big moments that happened throughout the night. So, with that being said, please join us back this weekend. Thank you, Elijah, for coming on the Hardcore and the Casual podcast once again. You're always a great co-host to argue with. I love doing it. I've been your host, Justin. Thank you guys for coming. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please come back and watch our live reactions and come back next week for the podcast for our breakdown of Jones versus Stipe and Paul versus Fury. And peace out.